everyone. We'll welcome you to today's webinar. I'm here with Brenndan Cooper, my teaching partner here at Tiffany Green's Golf Club in Kansas City, Missouri. As always, we're brought to you by Medicus Golf and KickX Golf. You'll notice I have some red on today. That's because it is Chiefs Kingdom Red Friday. Go Chiefs! Unfortunately for Brenndan, he is a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys.
So 8888888. Today our subject today, and hopefully you saw when we sent out the email, it's called, Are You Humping the Goat? Now, we could have said that in another way. The technical term is, do you have early extension? And nobody, A, would have known what that was, and B, it wouldn't have been near as funny. And so they want to find out what this actually means. We'd also like to ask if you have any questions, just type them in the sidebar. And once we get done with going over this, then we'll try to answer some of your questions. So Brenndan just finished a lesson with one of our members. And lo and behold, this person had that same thing that we're going to be talking about. So Brenndan, you want to start off and talk about it a little bit and tell us what it is?
Yeah, well, what we're talking about, like Chuck said, was to get a little bit more detail about it, is simply early extension. What that means is once you get to the top of your backswing and early extend, if you watch my head here, my head will look like it goes up. And what that does is early extension means you're just extending your spine angle.
So go ahead and set up there again. And so if you had a chair or something behind, I'm going to put this rod, this white rod back here on his rear. So if he goes to the top, and you'll see this if you're looking at video from down the line. When it starts forward, his butt would actually move forward off this line, and he's actually getting closer to the golf ball. Well, if you're getting closer to the golf ball, you have to do something to not miss the ball to the outside. Right? So generally, when people do that, they throw the club down. Club head usually beats the hands into impact, so you have a backward-leaning club shaft at impact instead of a forward-leaning club shaft. So let's talk about a couple of reasons why that might happen. All right, go ahead.
I think one thing I see quite a bit, and this was a prime example just a little bit ago, is people sometimes think that they're going to get more club head speed, more power in the shot, and like what they think is they think this move is speed. Well, all know that now that the club's moving too fast back here, right, and it's actually slowing down when it gets to the ball. So it's difficult for people to understand if they maintain their posture or spine angle or however you want to say it, that you're able now to have a much better sweet spot control. You're able to store that power much longer.
Right. So, and typically the players that do this also typically don't have enough move forward, which would be key number 2, right? So when they do that and then they throw the club back in here, they're also ruining key number 3, which is flat left wrist, but running key number 4, which is sweet spot control. Right. So it basically destroys all of the keys. So we're going to show you a couple of drills that you can work on. You can do this at home. So let's say you're out on the range, for example. All right, Brenndan's going to get set up. So I want you to set up here in the middle and turn around so they can see. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to put this golf bag here. Now I'm going to have him sit, and again, it's maybe not quite high enough, but if you have a driver to be sticking up in this area, right? So as he goes back, right, you want to feel like you're pushing back a little bit, and as you start down, you want to feel like you're adding more backward push, okay? And that will help you maintain that original angle of inclination with your spine. You can do that, so you can use it that way on the range. You can also take a chair, and you might have to get a higher back chair, but basically you can see right here, and let's say, for example, I'm just going to run this dowel through this right here, so I don't want you to just kind of make a back without the club. You can see how his hips are angled right here. So if he goes to the top of the swing, right, so it still has his hip angle. Now, what happens is when people do that, and they move forward, okay, if their hips go forward, they're actually losing this angle. So what we want to do from the top, we want to feel like we're pushing back more and increasing this angle down. So it's a feel of actually pushing your rear back. And, you know, Darren Clark's really good at that. Tom Tiger's great at it. A lot of great players make that move. So you have to feel, once again, when you get up here and you go back, it's not going to hurt you if you stay against this right now. Don't do this against a wall, however, because the wall doesn't move. You want something that you can actually push. So if I get up here at the top and I'm leaving, so my butt's leaving the chair, I'm getting early extension, and typically the club will fall down way too far inside. So if I get up here, what I want to feel is I'm setting and adding more tilt. So I'm pushing back with my butt, adding a little more hip slant. Not taking the hip slant out, but adding more hip slant. And then as you continue to move down plane, your left cheek, or your right cheek, I should say, will come off the chair. The left cheek is still pushing it back. If you're one of those people that can push it back and then you don't move everything else down plane, you could still do early extension but later in the zone. So you've got to make sure that this motion, when you're at the top, is that you are traveling down, 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 down. You don't want to get your upper torso high because, again, what's going to happen is that's going to move the pelvis forward. You're going to lose all those hip slants. So, you know, that's one of the biggest things we see in most golfers out there. And several things, actually, but, you know, the biggest thing we see is we see the club head going past the hands. We see the early extension, and we see people that have no concept where the sweet spot should swing. Right. So, but any other drills you have that you want to show them?
The most effective one is what the chair drill that Chuck showed you there. Because, again, that gives you the sensation of being able to push something back. Right? You know, ball drill, it will work to a point. Really, to get this habit fixed, if you can use a chair, that's about the best one.
Yeah, you need something you can actually push, and the wall's not going to give. I mean, if Brenndan was pushing against this chair, push against it as hard as you can. See, let's say that was a wall. I can keep my butt against this, but you notice, watch out, I'm still coming up. I can still come up because there's no give in this. But if I have the give in it, now I can actually push it back, and you can see that I'm maintaining my angle of inclination here versus moving up and still having my rear end off.
Yeah, well, that's the most effective way.
So that's one thing we see all of the time. So if you have any questions, just type them in the sidebar there. We'll be happy to answer some questions for you now. And we'll see if anything comes up. And if you don't have any questions, you think of something later, then just send it to the email on there. I think it's called Medicus webinar@gmail.com. It's in the sidebar if you take a look there. You know, we're going to be doing webinars primarily every Friday. We'll have a different subject every Friday. If there's something you want us to cover, send that in an email as well. Our weather's starting to cool down a little bit here, so we're going to be doing some outdoor filming on some of these topics, and we will show you a video. We can do a lot of full swing stuff in here, but we can't do much short game things in here other than putt. So anything on that format, we'll be filming outside and showing you the live video. Let's see if we have a question here. Well, somebody's saying hi, but I don't know what that question is. It says John. I'm guessing it could be Dr. John Oob in Louisiana. There we go. There we go. Now he's putting it up. Does firing the right foot on the downswing also help this problem? John, that would depend on which way you fire your right foot. If you fire your right foot, and I'll show you a down the line example there. If I fire my right foot towards the toe with the knee going out, no, all that's going to do is push me forward. What I need to do is I'm pushing back, and I need to keep the weight more to the inside of the foot. All right, when it goes to toe, the hips are going to open too early, the knee comes out, that's just going to exacerbate the problem. Second part of that question, Does, oh, that's the same thing. Does firing, that's Rex, already answered that. Does firing the right foot downswing